Let's see if this connects all right. And there she is.
Morning!
Hey, Caren.
Isn't it nice when technology works?
It is. It is. Yeah. There's always that apprehension of stress, isn't there? Well, there is with me. Like, oh God, I hope it works. I hope it works. I hope my internet, and I'm using VPN for obvious reasons, and like, but I'm glad you're okay, and we got through it.
How are you doing? It's been ages.
It has, hasn't it? It's been quite a
really long time.
Yeah. For those that know, I met Caren at the IFPA conference in, was it 2019?
It feels like about a decade ago. It feels like a pandemic. This.
Yeah, it does, doesn't it? It seems like a long time ago, where it really wasn't, I suppose, in the great scheme of things. But with everything that's happened, yeah, it's a long time ago.
Really long time ago. But you're keeping well, are you? You're doing well?
Yeah. Keeping myself out of trouble as much as possible, But yeah. Well, how about you?
Yeah, not too bad at all, thank you. Things are starting to feel a little bit more normal here with big changes again on Monday. So another adjustment to come again on Monday, I think. So it feels exciting because it's like normality is starting to invite us back in. It's just feels a bit nerve-wracking again.
Yeah, I can imagine with all the rules seem to. I haven't been able to keep up with what's been going on in Britain with all the different rules, because where you are in Wales, is it different to?
I'm actually in Middle England.
Okay. So excuse my ignorance with everything, but I just see Scotland doing their own thing, and everyone's doing their own lockdown things and different levels of it. But you're all open again now and working and.
Yeah, mostly open, still under kind of COVID secure guidelines. But again, that will all change on Monday. So I was kind of dusting off all of the equipment to come back into the studio ready for next week, because we can start using that again, which feels quite, that feels quite nice. And but yeah, Wales are under different rules. Scotland, Ireland. It's, thank goodness, IFPA is keeping us up to date, because it's quite hard to keep up with. It's hard to keep up with just day-to-day personal life, and then having to think about everything in your professional life as well, and how that changes come Monday. Do we wear masks? Do we not wear masks? So we had an IFPA update out yesterday, so that was useful. So, thank goodness IFPA keeping us up to date. You're quite hot off the press, IFPA, which is quite nice.
Yeah, the guys are great at doing all that.
Yeah.
Works. So, well, I'm really happy to see that you're back working at the school, and also in your practice as well.
Yeah, it's keeping busy. Yeah, we've had students in. We've had students in to take their exams, because obviously that took so much longer than what we were expecting to get people in for final exams. So we've had exams done. We've had a new cohort of students in, and CPDs as well. So, which has been really nice. It's just that slice of normality, isn't it?
Yeah.
And also, we've always been an online school. The Welsh School went fully online in 2016. So we've always done online. So now it just feels like a very familiar thing, whereas maybe back in 2016, where I started introducing virtual classrooms, some people may have thought, I don't know, that can't possibly replace face-to-face. But I think it adds a different element, most certainly. And, maybe some things are lost, but we've not found that through the Welsh School. In fact, we've found that it's really added to our community, because we're meeting so many aromatherapists from around the world. Actually, we're currently just finishing off a hydrolats course, and we've got students in from Australia and Europe and America. So for us, it's just made the aromatherapy community more accessible, and actually just kind of widened our reach to make new connections, which has been really lovely. So hopefully we won't lose that. Hopefully people won't kind of fall off the virtual sphere now, because we're allowed to have face-to-face, because we've made some really great friendships along the last 20 months or whatever it's been.
Wow. Well, that's awesome to hear that you kind of, how do I say this? You had your business set up almost ready for the situation that happened with COVID, if you know what I mean, like it was, you were all ready to go, had it all online. You know, of course, we couldn't prepare for it fully, but at least you had the infrastructure there ready that you could still keep teaching. We got, you know, so it didn't like lock you fully off. And
actually, for the school, nothing changed because the diploma students, we do live lessons every week anyway, and we'd always used Zoom for that. I think for the other half of the business, obviously therapies had to stop, but not really, because virtual consultations picked up, so that was pretty epic. And then Pilates and yoga all transferred over to Zoom lessons, but of course we closed the doors on the Thursday. We were like, right, back next week, we're online. And people were going, what's Zoom? Don't worry, we've got this sorted. These are the instructions. So it wasn't, you know, I was so grateful in that it almost felt like we were prepared to make that virtual leap and make it really easy for clients to do that and not have the challenge of having to learn all the technology beforehand. So I was really, really grateful for that. But it's not quite the same. Teaching aromatherapy face-to-face, teaching Pilates face-to-face is quite different, because as soon as people got down to their mats, it was empty screens. So I was like, oh, you have to take the screen with you so I can see how you're moving and working and where your feet are and everything else. And but you know what? Now that we're started to come out of it, you can, you know, we've not making a small thing of the pandemic. You know, we've had kind of personal losses within our family, so it's been filled with incredible sadness and, you know, a bit of trauma along the way. But I do try to look back and pull out positives. And we were so privileged as Pilates yoga instructors to be invited into people's homes. You know, you'd have someone on the mat in their kitchen trying to work out, and the children going to the fridge behind them in their pajamas to get food and stuff, you know, it's that kind of thing. And of course we were all used to that because that's generally how we teach online anyway, but it is like a bit of a privilege to be invited into people's homes to teach and to be part of life like that. So thank goodness for technology over the last 18 months. It's been huge and kept us connected, hasn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. It was I listened to a podcast a couple of months back, and someone saying, could you imagine what it would have been like that if the pandemic was, say, in the 90s?
Yeah.
Or,
yeah.
You know, no mobile activity, no internet, and Netflix. You know, the video libraries would have been shut. You wouldn't have been able to go. Well, I'm sure they would have adapted somehow, but that kind of
Blockbuster. Do you remember Blockbuster?
yeah. The blockbusters and all that. It'd be, so different. You know, these kids don't know how good they've got it in that respect. Yes.
I think I said to my children the other day, you know, I'm older than Google. They're like, cool. So, yeah, pressing. I thought it was quite funny. Then it came out of my mouth and I was a bit like, oh, that sounds really awful. So, never mind.
No, it doesn't seem that long ago, that kind of, you know, pre-Google world, when you think about it, when things, when I watch, you know, you watch certain films back in TV shows back in the 90s, you know, like Friends, for example, there was no mention of, I think there may have been texting to them, but it wasn't such a big thing, where now you look at all the TV shows and everyone's jacked in. And
yes, yeah.
Kind of, but fashion and clothing and hairstyles are pretty similar. It's just that's the only thing that's changed.
I watched an episode of West Wing the other day, and one of the children walked in and was like, what's wrong with their computers? Like, why are they so big at the back? Yeah, so, it's very different. But, you know, thank goodness we've had that over the last 18 months or so. Otherwise, it would have looked incredibly different. Different.
Yeah.
But I'm so lucky as well, you know, because of that, because people have been more online. They found us at the Well School, and we've been able to offer, you know, kind of connection and a place to for some aromatherapists to spend time, maybe just sharing concerns as well of how it felt having to close the business. You know, when we were told to close the doors, for that first lockdown, how scary that all felt. Will there be something behind when I come back? Will people still come back? Will they want to come back? Will it be too scary? Do I want to go back? It was a really great safe space to be able to chat through those concerns. I can see names coming up here, and we've met some lovely people kind of along the way. Oh, I've been missing all these comments coming up here. Oh, thank you. Yes, I'm new haircut, summer hair, make my neck a bit thing. Oh, look, there's loads of comments here. Oh, my mum is online as well. Oh, she's like my biggest cheerleader.
Which one? Oh, that's brilliant.
Yeah.
Really cool. That's really cool. I'm not going to digress too much. We'll catch up to sort of where we are now, but I always like to just ask Caren, because I honestly don't know. We've never spoken about all the times that we've talked. It's all IFPA related kind of activities. So tell us about your aromatherapy journey. How did you start? How did you get interested in the practice of aromatherapy and your journey to where you...
This is... you have to tell me to shut up if I go on, okay? Because I don't do short stories. I don't. I tried. Doesn't work well for me. I miss out things. No, well, actually, I'm glad my mum is online. So this has all come because of my mum. So my mum is a nurse. She's a really incredible, highly qualified nurse. And when she did her nursing degree, her diploma to start with, one of the things, and I hope I get the story right, there's pressure now because she's watching, but as part of her nursing diploma, she was on a ward, and there was a lady on the ward, a young woman that had, she was in for end-of-life care. And anyway, the shortened version of this part of the story, she didn't want to go home, and I think it was a reflexologist or an aromatherapist came in and gave her complimentary healthcare. Just came in and did a treatment for her. And at that point, then she was able to express that she was fearful of going home because she had children that she had at home and didn't want that to come into the family home, even though the family wanted her to go there. So the therapist came in, did treatment, and she was able to express that. And then they talked through, the staff was able to talk through that with her, and she went home to pass away. And it really sparked Mam's interest of how there was a place in Western medicine for complementary health. And to be fair, with Mam as a practice nurse as well, she was saying, if someone comes in with high anxiety or stress, there is only medicine to offer. That sometimes that person actually doesn't need that, or if a female comes in with menopausal symptoms, there is only medicine to offer. That's where our Western medicine can be restricted sometimes, and how Mam started to be more open to complementary health in our healthcare system as well. So she wrote her dissertation on aromatherapy within the NHS.
Wow.
I was 15. And then what happened when Mam had her, I don't know if it was one of her student placements or whether it was her first role as a qualified nurse, the secretary, like the board secretary, came in, and she was a qualified an aromatherapist, and she'd moved to the area. She'd either trained at Neal's Yard or she trained at Tisserand, I can't remember, but obviously she was English girl, come to live on the west coast of Wales, and she'd taken a job as a medical secretary. And Mam was chatting with her, and Mam said, my daughter's going through her GCSEs, and I'm going through my finals. We were doing this at the same time. Mam and I revised together a lot. And Mam brought Fiona in to do an aromatherapy massage for us as part of stress release. And I remember her arriving at the house, and she brought all the aromatics with her, and we stayed having treatments with her for quite a long time, even until I was pregnant with my eldest child as well. She was doing treatments for us, and I remember thinking, she's got the best job in the world. Just how amazing to make people feel like this, the way that she makes me feel. How incredible is that? And that was it. Never thought any more about it. Ended up moving up to England, and I bounced from one job to another, and it was always kind can you do this job, Caren? Yeah, no, but I'll find a way of doing it. And so it's to take a job just because they'd offered to pay me more. I would take that job. It's like, oh, if I can earn more doing that, then I'll go and do that job. Can you do it? Not really, but I'll find a way. I'll learn. And then once I'd learned that job, I was then really bored. So I was only ever in a job for about 12 months. Once I'd figured it out, I was then bored. So I had that kind of mind, like once I figured it out, I want to move on to the next thing. Then when I moved up here, had my second child, and at that time I'd kind of become a born again Christian, and I was just wanted to do something a little bit more purpose filled with my career. And I just thought, I have absolutely no idea what to do. And I just prayed about it and just said to God, like, if you can use me for anything, I don't care what it is, but if you can use me, I'll do whatever it is you want me to do, but you have to tell me what to do. And my mum at the time was having lots of like prophetic dreams, and she came over and she said, I had an amazing dream about you last night. I dreamt you were an aromatherapist in a barn. Now, as soon as she said it, I thought, I want to do that. That's what I would like to do. So I then went around looking for a course that would fit in around having a 12-month-old baby and a husband that worked away in Formula One racing all the time. So trying to find a suitable course was a nightmare. And I ended up finding one right on the doorstep. And this was for my massage qualification. Anyway, I spoke with the lady and said, I want to do this, but I don't want to do it as a job. I don't want to earn any money from it. I just want to be a volunteer in the church and go around and helping people and making people feel better. And she said, oh, that's fine. She said, you need a £500 deposit to secure your place on the course. So I was like, right, okay. Oh, no, it wasn't. It was a £250 deposit. And I didn't have that, so I was on maternity leave. And I couldn't bear the thought of going to Paul and say, I've got another career change coming. Because oh my days. So I just prayed and I just said to God, you're going to have to send me £250 deposit if you want me to do this. And 5 days later, I had a £250 tax rebate, which secured my course. But it came from there. But I just did the ITEC holistic massage to start with, an A&P. And then I didn't want to do the ITEC aromatherapy course. It didn't quite match up with what I was thinking because it was literally just adding essential oils to massage, and I just felt like there was more that could be done with it. The compresses and lotions and creams. I just knew that there was more. So it took me about 2 years to find the IFBA course, and in that time I did all of my advanced massage qualifications, connected in with my really good friend Declan, who had a massage school, and he became my massage mentor, and just really honed in on the massage skills. So I absolutely love massage. I love administering massage. I love being a massage therapist. I would definitely say that one of my love languages is touch. So it's always if someone is like moving their neck around or just squash it, like come and sit here. I'll do that. Let me get in there. And then I was working for Declan's massage school at the Excel Centre in London for, I think it was like the Holistic Health Show. I don't think it happens anymore, but it was really quite amazing. And I was on my lunch hour walking around, not really knowing what I was looking for, but just knew that there was something there that I needed to find. And I found the aromatherapy company, which was with Louise Carter, and I approached her and I said, I don't really know what it is that I'm doing here, but I know I'm meant to speak to you. What is it that you do? She said, we're in Aromatherapy School. And I was like, where do I sign up? You've been what I've been looking for. And they're only in Warwickshire, which is like one of the counties that border us. So I signed up, and their course was just about started. They'd just started the school, and their course was about to start. So I enrolled there and then. And then what happened when I registered for the course, the address came through, and it was Orange Blossom Barn. So that dream that my mum had about being an aromatherapist in a barn came full circle. So training in Orange Blossom Barn. So yeah, it was really special. Yeah, so that's that was 2011, I think. 2010, 2011. And then obviously been working as an aromatherapist, and I'm added Pilates into that as well. So kind of moving people on the couch, off the couch, adding Pilates, no, adding aromatherapy into Pilates. People are breathing better, they're going to move better. If people are less stressed, then they're going to be able to move better, release their muscles better. So this, different elements of kind of movement and mind and body and aromatics actually knitted together really quite nicely. And then we opened, when I trained with the aromatherapy company, they asked me to start teaching for them. So we did that, worked with Joanne and Louise in 2012. And then we launched a new course 2015, and then I decided to take the course online in 2016, and left the aromatherapy company 2017. And the Well School then, Louise was like, oh, you need to have your own course, because I was like, I want to add movement into this. I want to add movement into the massage, and got some ideas how I want to do stuff. And she said, I'm going to help you to set your own school up. I just think this is what you need to do. So Louise really kindly, generously helped me to do that. And she's kind of remained a really good friend and a bit of a mentor as well. Since then, she's incredibly generous and kind, and just wants the best for everybody. So, we're lucky to have her on the IFBA board, and we're lucky to have all of you guys. I've done a stint on IFBA, and it's, it takes a lot of commitment and a lot of passion for what it is that we do. So, kind of honouring all of you for your roles on the IFBA board, because it's a responsibility. So thank you for that. So yes, so that's kind of where we are. The Well School, we've got really exciting. Back in September, we took the keys to our new building. So the Well School has now got a permanent home. And we've got at the heart of the building, so we've got treatment rooms upstairs, we have a therapy garden outside at the Well Retreat, as the studio inside, but at the heart of the building is our blending room. So people come folk blending, and I wasn't sure whether that would be something that would take off, that people would pay for the appointment to come for a consultation, go home with a bespoke blend, but I had 4 in on Friday. So I was really doing a little secret dance on Friday. Trying to feel calm, welcoming people in. Hello, welcome. This is really normal for me on the inside. Like, cool, there's another one.
Yeah, I've seen your photos of the on Instagram of the blending bar, which I love. I love the look of it. I think it's fantastic. I'm interested in how you've incorporated that into your practice. So that's awesome.
Yeah,
that it's doing well for you. So that's I love hearing that, and your story is amazing. That's such a beautiful story.
Oh,
it's it's a cliche when I say this, but it sounds like it was meant to be.
Oh, definitely.
Like it just flowed. I love hearing stories of how we all move in any profession really, and particularly aromatherapy, of how people just kind of fall into it, if that without real consciously kind of it just happening, and then this is what I want to do, and that's what you said to Louise, and that this is what I want to be. I need to be here. So you found this instinct within.
And it has happened quite organically. Even kind of the jump from going in-house to going online. Again, that was my mum. I sat with her one day, and because we didn't have premises, I opened the Well Retreat in 2012. And in 2013, we'd been gifted the building. In 2013, we had to give the building back. So it completely lay dormant from 2013 to 2017. And it was a real test of faith, because I knew I had so much to give, and it was so much frustration. I say this a lot to my students. I can say it now because I'm out the other side, but the learning is in the waiting. There was a lot of preparation in that for what was to come. But I had to go through that preparation stage, and that was tough, because you're like, I'm bursting with everything that I want to give, and there's just no way to do it. So having to learn to wait, and to learn to wait well when you are a really impatient person. And then So because of that not waiting particularly well, we started having students into our home, and it was really good, but it was, difficult for the children. Don't leave your shoes anywhere. The students come in. When when the students are here, this is a place of learning. So having to keep all of that. So that was really hard. So I said to my mum, I'm gonna stop the school. I can't carry on like this. It's not fair on the children. We had young children at the time. It's too difficult. And my mum, in her wisdom, said, well, you believed that the school was a gift to you from God. A gift is always a gift. If you don't like the packaging, change the packaging. I was like, what does that mean? And she went, I don't know. And they've started teaching nurses online. You can do, as a nurse, you can do CPD courses online. Why don't you think about taking the school online? So I phoned my web designer and said, I've had an idea. What do you think about doing an online school? And he said, I've never done an online school. And I said, it's all right, because I've never taught in one. But do you fancy the challenge? And he said, do you trust me? I was like, oh, absolutely. So we did it together. And we worked together, and it was massive. It took us 8 months to build it, to create the content, to upload the content, to have it working, and it was huge, like 4,000 pages of content.
Wow.
But yeah, it was huge. And I've gone back to him now. I said, we need to update the website, and he's like, la 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 la. So that's coming. It's going to need a huge overhaul this year. So that's going to be coming next. But we keep putting it off. It's like, let's get over the pandemic first, and then we'll have a look at it again. But it's been good, and the students love it. And I think the way that we've set up, there is. I know some of our students are on here, and some CPD students on as well. I can see their lovely names coming up, and I hope they feel like there isn't anything lost through the experience of learning online with us. And the really funny thing is, before the pandemic, January of last year, we had a student connect day. So all of our students are invited to come in-house. I love eating, so it's always like, gather around the table, let's share a meal. And they all came in-house, and it was the oddest experience that we all know each other. We share life. It's not just sharing aromas, it's sharing life, someone is ill. When we lost my mother-in-law to COVID in December, everybody was so kind, so gentle, so patient as we kind of transitioned through that as a family, and things were put on hold for a little bit. And so when we actually meet face to face, it's the oddest thing. It's like, we've never met, but I know you. And that was such a lovely experience to have that. So we do have these student connect days that allows us to gather in a room, and we blend for each other, and just care for each other a little bit, and create vision boards and stuff. But I don't think there's any experience that's lost through a virtual classroom if it's set up properly, and if what's at the center of it is community. And for the Well School, is definitely community. All of our CPD, yes, the content is online, but it's not, you sign up for a course, there you go, we'll see you at the end. It's what are you doing, share a bit more, and having everything very live and interactive, so we get to know people as well.
Yeah, that's wonderful. That's such a great philosophy and outlook of a teaching facility. So sounds awesome.
Our aromatherapy community, these guys that are on here, they are like some of the nicest people I've had the pleasure to spend time with. So Helen is my co-tutor. And Helen Nagelsmith. Everything we do is like, right, how do we get people in so that we can sit with them around our virtual table and chat with them, and because they're so inspiring, just creating so many ideas, blends, and things that the newer students so much, the just qualified students, the ones that I call my students aromatherapy experts in training, because they come up with blends and stuff that I've never thought of. I'm like, that is just amazing. So we can learn so much,
Yeah. Learning from everyone, and just when you think, I always like to think, you're never an expert in something, because there's always something else to, you're never a master. It's always a learning process with anything. So
Especially aromatherapy, especially with nature, with creation. If you think you've got that zest, you need to step away because you've totally stopped learning. So I think I learn lots from my students, and try and remain teachable and ask them to remain teachable as well. And also when people come across the well schools, I don't think that I'm sat here as an expert in this, because I'm learning new things all the time. We've just been studying hydrolates, and I've written a full course on hydrolates, and already I was one of the distillers I was talking to saying that he was distilling turmeric water, and I was like, oh,
really?
Amazing. Yeah. And he's like, yes, a new one. I just thought I'd give it a try. And so he's been distilling waters for 30 years, and he's just working out that turmeric water is absolutely delicious, and that would be amazing. So I think, yeah, we can just to have so much fun with aromatherapy, can't we? To stay, just staying teachable and listening to each other.
Yeah. Always one new oil, one new blend, one new fragrance, smell, that kind of that. Oh, and or research into different terpenes and and chemical that can help in the therapy. So, that's wonderful. I love that. Right.
From Aromatic Guide has written here, this field is learning till the last breath. I love that.
That's a good quote. I like that. Really good.
So yeah. Oh, and Ria is on here. So Ria was one of my first ever students. An amazing student. Didn't speak much English at all when she came to the UK. She decided to learn English and aromatherapy at the same time. Incredible such therapist Ria is.
Really? I struggled with just learning aromatherapy, let alone throwing another language into the mix as well.
I struggle with my English now. Oh, nice.
That's great. And I always like to ask what other therapies you've learned, but you mentioned and other practices. So I know that you, massage, of course, is kind of a big component of aromatherapy, but you learned Pilates as well. Is there anything else that you like? Reiki, reflexology, you know what I mean? Any other complementary therapists, or was it?
I just have a love for massage, and I wanted to specialize in massage, and I'm a little bit like when something, I want to make sure that I have learnt from the best, doing the best, and deliver the best. And I just, as soon as I started massaging, I thought, there's nothing else I want to do. I did train in Aroma Reflex, and we offer a training course. But it's just always been massage. And I try then and connect with other professionals who specialize in their fields as well. So that, if I feel like someone would be better off with another discipline, that I can just pass on and just stay really generous with that, rather than coming away from something that I've loved so much. So, yeah.
Yeah. I think that's a great philosophy, is to partner with other therapists, create little communities with other people, let them specialize in, say, reflexology, or let them specialize in, even I remember when I was in England having like personal trainers, some dietitian, nutritionists, that kind of thing. I would always I know a little bit, but it's not my field. Go speak to them, and you set up a little community of I actually even get more from that sometimes than actually trying to know everything out there. So I understand what you mean.
Yeah, I just found that it's just helped me to create really good relationships with people. And actually at the Well Retreat now, is kind of, I hadn't realized it until I just said that now, but we have, at the Well Retreat, we just have one person per discipline. So we have one reflexologist. We have two aromatherapists because it's got that busy for aromatherapy. So I have Trish Drain, who's IFPA aromatherapist working with me, who's incredible. But it's one yoga teacher, one Tai Chi teacher, and this is kind of how we worked, and it allows again for that, just that community feel as well, and everybody is sharing just for the benefit of the client, which has been really nice.
Yeah, that sounds great. Yeah, absolutely. I always ask this question to those that watch these little live streams, and it's always quite personal. But what are some of your favorite oils?
I knew you were going to ask me that. I hope you weren't going to say what's your favorite oil, because I'd be like, oh. No,
I have to broaden it now to oils. Because it's easier that way.
Do you know? Oh gosh. I'm going to give you my favorite blend. It's the blend of the moment. The blend that if I'm feeling, it's the blend that's kept me company over the last 18 months where I have felt quite vulnerable and needing nourishment, maybe nurturing, maybe. Silver fir. I absolutely love silver fir. Cardamom and lime.
Oh, wow.
That's my go-to blend. And if I've got the house to myself, because I've got 3 sons, mostly teenagers, so I don't tend to see them very often other than when it's feeding time. But when that blend is, I'm going to snuggle on the sofa with a fluffy blanket and maybe a hot coffee, because I love coffee, with a hot coffee, a blanket, and my dogs, and just look out the window with that blend. That's my blend. But rose, I love rose, but we don't share rose. She stays in the bottle. She's over there. We go for rose water instead. But rose, do you know what I would find it really as? You know what you should ask people? What's your least favorite essential oil?
Yeah, that's my next question, actually. What don't you like? Because not everyone, I remember when I was studying, I kind of felt that, I remember a lot of people didn't like certain oils, and I was, I love that one, and you don't. And it was interesting learning why that is, certain aversion to, memory recall of things they don't like. That is my question now. So what are some that you don't bond with, or maybe just can't get along with, rather than not liking?
If my students are on here, they're going to know exactly what I'm going to say, because when they mention they're going to put it in a blend, I go... Ginger. I hate ginger.
Oh wow, really? I was okay.
I don't ginger, but it's ginger just needs friends for me. Ginger is fine when it's mixed with cinnamon and orange, and it's really, it's a horrible day outside, and that's in the vaporizer, or not topically. No, I don't like it. People will be properly offended by this, but I can't help it. I'm really not very keen on ginger. So I've dropped ginger and I put Ply in my kit. Ply is amazing, so I'd have that as an alternative. But other than that, I like all of them. There are some that I'm not overly keen on. Neroli. People get really offended when I don't really like it. It's a bit too, I don't know why. It's okay. But, some people really love neroli, so they we're like, oh, how could you say that about neroli? I don't know, I just can. And cypress I'm not overly keen on.
Yeah, I must admit I'm not massive on that one myself.
It's okay if it's blended with other things, but I'm not overly keen on cypress. But everything else, clary sage needs friends.
Oh, really? Okay, see, I love clary sage. But that's, again, this is what I love. It's all personal, isn't it? Integrated health. I love neroli. Best stress buster ever. See,
I'm not keen on the aroma. So if I was going to put it in a blend, it would have to be blended with something else. But I do drink orange blossom water for stress relief. Just, when everything is really busy, I do like to drink orange blossom water. That really helps me.
Okay, yeah, I can understand. I've never liked the citruses in general.
Really?
Until this year, really, for some reason, I've really started to like. I like grapefruit, and that was bad. But now it's only this year for some reason. I don't know why. I like orange. I like. The even lime, which I used to really not like. So maybe my nose is changing living here. I don't know, but so I understand what you mean. It's all, the oranges can be a bit
sweeter citrus. I wasn't overly keen on mandarin, but then I bought green mandarin. Love that. That's really nice, but it's sharper, so I think it might be that.
Okay, I don't know. Oh, I'm going to have to look at that one.
So hang on a minute. So Maria's saying you need to wait for clary sage. It gets better with time. That's really. I did buy one clary sage from a supplier once, and it smelled like an old tea bag. So that's definitely sitting there waiting to get better with age. I bought another one from another supplier, and then Blossom Integrative Healthcare says it's my age. Yeah, maybe neroli will come when I start to get a bit hotter as I get older, maybe. But yeah, that's funny.
Oh, that's funny.
What's your favorite essential? I'm going to be mean. What's your favorite essential oil?
At this moment,
yeah,
because it's like film. You know, every time I'll have classics, but then I'll see something. That's my favorite at this moment. But funny you should say that. I got this, and I keep it handy. There you go. Can you guys read that? It's a Chinese one.
Oh, okay. What is it?
It's Qiaoxing. It's basically Chinese lovage.
Oh.
I never ever knew it until I went to the Aromatherapy Expo about a month ago in Shanghai.
Yeah.
And this little box set, which is really cute, and it had a whole bunch of little oils in there, and they're indigenous ones that are grown here. Lovely. Some of them are like gingers here. But yeah, Linguistica Qiaoxing, and it smells like a little bit
like what?
Celery.
Celery.
Which I love celery anyway.
Me too. Especially with hummus.
Yeah, raw. I just love it. So it's the smells. I wish I could send you some down the. The only
that's missing is smell-o-vision.
Yeah. That's the next thing that we'll have to integrate into our technology somehow.
Would be nice, wouldn't it?
Yeah. That'll be awesome. So anyway, at the moment, that is my favorite. At this moment.
And you know, one of the questions I like to ask my students is, if you had to describe, if your day was an essential oil, which essential oil would it be today?
That's a really good question. I love that. That is really. Today, I'm definitely vetiver today.
Oh, nice. Oh, very.
Yeah. Yeah, I feel very grand.
I think I'm a lime today because it's really sunny. Wednesday is my admin day, so I sit and catch up. So that's nice. When I clear my inbox and clear my mark-in folder, you just feel a bit like, ta-da, I'm on top of the world. Having a good day today. So I think my day is going to be a lime today.
Okay.
Full of energy. And the sun is... Oh, Sonnet.
Well,
hi, Ian.
Oh, hi, Ian. I should let you go too.
Yeah.
The time that I said we would. But look, Caren, thank you so much for joining.
Thank you so much.
I did postponing last week as well, but I really appreciate you being here today talking with us all. And is it okay if I pop your details down in the comments section? Because I'll post this in a minute. And it'll go across to the Facebook page as well. So I'll leave your details if anyone wants to contact you. And also, I'll be contacting you as well because that turmeric water, I really want to speak to you. I'm just excited about when you said that. I'm like, oh my God.
Vetiver water.
Wow. Yeah.
I know.
Okay. I'll be talking to you. Thanks, Caren.
You're welcome. Have a good day, everybody.
Take care. Thanks again.